Hello, everybody. This is Jacques Barrault from the Dubbing Academy. This is the Art of Dubbing Shared Secret, and we are today at the episode 19. So, very good series. Next one will be the 20th, so very happy. We are going to wait for our friend Tess to join me and we can talk. And today was going to be very interesting because we have a musician, dancer, and I'm going to accept Tess, and Tess is going to join us. I hope so. Hello,
Hello,
Tess.
Jack.
So I was saying this is episode 19 of the Shared Secret of the Art of Dubbing. Can you believe that? So and today this is a very special episode because I'm a musician and yeah, everybody knows that by now, and all my theories about the voices, the placement, the dubbing, the rhythm, etc. Everything comes from music to me. That's why we say, your voice is an instrument, learn how to
Yeah.
play it. So everybody, this is Tess, and Tess is a student of the Dubbing Academy, and and we are going to explore the interaction between dance, because you are also a dancer.
I'm more of a dancer than I have been playing a lot of music back in the days, but the last year I have been in several cultural and here in the community in the south of Portugal. So I have been more dancing, but rhythmically. So, and I have done martial arts like capoeira, where it's the drum
Whoa, this is
very
great.
a big thing. Uh, more of a rhythm than melodies. So that's why I also found it interesting to dig into the
Great.
voice element of
So
the
tell
melodic.
us about yourself.
Yeah.
Introduce yourself and tell us in a few lines. I mean, you have the time. We have time. Tell us a little bit what you do, where you are, and how did you arrive to the Dubbing Academy?
Basically, I have been moving. I always love music and dance. I'm coming from times when concerts, like even from Tina Turner, she has been dancing, and Michael Jackson, all these big concerts, which I was in our generation, I was happy to witness back in the days. So it was always music and dance. And back in the days, we didn't have internet, so it was more like you went to the live concert, you practiced at home, turned up
I
the speaker,
remember
and it
these
was
days.
always
I
around
remember
our.
that.
Yeah. And my mother always played music. My brother was a musician, and yeah, so I got into there, and then I also always loved dancing because that was I never had the super voice, so I tended to use my body as an instrument. And yeah, and then when I came with 28 to Portugal, to Lagos. It's in the south west of Portugal, and I became a mother, and I started doing a lot work, community work with the youth in music and dance. And yes, and then later on, when I went back to, I played a lot of jam session. Here is a big scene of street musicians, and so mostly in my music, I did when I was a mother. I did a lot of jamming. Like I played the saxophone. I love the drum, and I am an artist as well, like I said. And I came via capoeira. There's big groups of drum singing, and yeah, and then in lockdown times, Anna Weers, my good friend from Bielefeld, she told me that you offer this possibility of studying voice and dubbing and yeah, and I decided to dig into that again because I love to sing, but I never really dared. Also, I always like speaking. This is also good for me. It was always, I never had the confidence really to dig deeper into that because you hear a lot of beautiful voices nowadays. And what I really found interesting is that in this particular case, even if you don't have the like most beautiful singing voice, there's still option to explore your voice. And that I really loved about the fact that I said that, yeah, I want to go back and get over that and dig into
Cool.
that, what I always love to do. And later in life, but through all the experience and all the things I have done, I really enjoy
Very good.
the study.
Very
Yeah.
good. Very impressive. Congratulations. Yes, yes, very nice. So yeah, I saw your profile of your profile in Instagram. Very, very nice
Mostly
pictures.
like,
And of course, I saw you dancing a lot, and I saw a picture with you behind the drums. So I say, oh, that's very interesting. So you
yeah,
just said something that I just wrote it because I say your voice is an instrument. Let's learn how to play it. You said use your body as an instrument. So this is very, very
yes,
nice, and I want to explore that for 2 minutes because most of the people you see, when you see pictures of actors doing dubbing, like Robin Williams or all these big guys in Hollywood, when they dub, especially they dub animation. It's a tradition in Hollywood. You have all
yes,
these big guys giving their voices for animated movie, uh, and um, and when you see them, and I saw a lot of videos, and I work with a few of them. They are all over the place. They are moving their entire body, their arms, etc.
all,
And so, using your body as an instrument, I think it's great. And this is why we recommend in the Dubbing Academy, when you want to dub, don't sit, because if you sit, you cannot use your body as an instrument. So you have to stand and move. So tell me a little bit more about that, because I can after share a few stories about moving in front of a microphone. But so, what does it give? What does it bring to be able to move in front of a microphone?
so I just finished also the second part now because I was going into
Yeah, yeah.
the
I saw
voiceover
I saw
first.
that, and I
I
didn't
also
have the time to review. No, no, because yeah, I was in Cannes for the BIPCOM, so I was very busy. But I will do that. I will do that tomorrow. I want to see what you did because I'm sure you did great.
no,
So
I, see, I had a lot of, I had a couple of things, but I wanted to finish that before I talk with you, so I can give you a better understanding of that. Because the first part, the voiceover part, is quite you're reading, you get into the
yep,
mystery or the stories, and reading. And then yesterday, the Bugs Bunny part, for example, in that study, gave me a hard time because, okay, exploring my own voice is a thing which is natural to me. Exploring the different ranges and pitches, the high pitches and low pitches, um,
yeah,
gave me a big challenge. But then point what you were asking, as soon as I lighted up, I made some exercises or breathing and started moving, and I felt
exactly.
more in comfort with that. So, um, if you go from movement, and I come a lot from Afro dances as well, you have like, for example, I give you a quick, in ballet, you have one center of your body where everything goes into the belly
Yeah,
button, like you have like one energy center. Breathing, you learn how to breathe into your stomach, where to take also breath for sentences, same then in the dubbing. Therefore, for your movement, that you don't get out of breath quickly. In the African music, you have something like polyrhythm. You probably know. And in dance, it goes that you have different energy centers, so you can move your arm differently than that, and all together, it just loosen up your body. Also gives you more like freedom to speak, because you're not only concentrated on exactly the thing,
Yes.
the pressure
This
of
is
delivering. So, or you can be yourself and try to find yourself within the character, like the movement, what we had to face Aladdin, and all this
yes,
gives
and
makes it more comfort.
I remember a few years ago, I was still at Warner Brothers, and this guy came from Washington D.C., and he was a trainer for the Congress people in the States, you know. So he was teaching them how to speak in public, in front of an audience, and we were talking about the newspaper trick, because and in the Dubbing Academy we talk about the newspaper trick, and this came from this guy. We were like 15, 20 people doing this seminar for 2 days, and we have a colleague who was really not able to speak in public. He could not project his voice. He was always talking like that. And the guy said, louder, louder, speak louder. And he could not. And he was just, say whatever you want. Tell us a story. What did you do last week? And the guy could not speak. So, yeah. And
Yeah,
so it's exactly, it's like a mask and you cannot. So he said, okay, take a newspaper. So he took a newspaper and he folded the newspaper and he said, okay, stand in front of the table and start hitting the newspaper on the table. And boom, boom, boom. And now talk. And the guy started to be a little bit louder. So do it again. And bam, bam, bam. And the guy started really to talk and say, you see, now you can talk.
yeah, definitely. Especially, for example, I'm coming from Germany originally, and German people are quite
Yeah.
reserved. And yeah, here in Portugal is a different story as well, you know. But like, for example, people in Italy, they use a lot of hand expression, or you know, it's different cultures as well. So that was it's also very nice to look at, also in the studies, that you really can explore different cultures, different ways of movement, living. So that is also a very nice fact for me to, because I loved the cultures always. And what I also want to say, like when you come from school, or you speak a language, for example, in Germany, you don't have translated movies, whereas in Portugal, here, everything in the cinemas, like in Holland, is with subtitles. So we haven't learned that really to grow up with language. I see a very, very big thing here as well, that people lose their shyness to speak different languages, to speak up, and not feeling shy to
Yes, that's
speak
very
wrong. If I
important.
would talk,
Yes.
probably if I talk to you in French, that would sound horrible for you. But I have worked on a boat where you have to speak to French people, or I have done so many different jobs as well to survive here as well. Um, and it's also interesting because I love to see different scenes of living. So losing the shyness, this fear of really making mistakes, and not like feeling like, oh, what have I said? Like I never speak again. Like saying maybe with newspaper, or with and here, for example, the first 10 years, I
Yeah,
think I only have class
and you are
with the people.
absolutely right. And I would even go further, making the analogy between speaking in front of a public and speaking in front of a microphone, because I saw so many people that were very shy, very suddenly they are not the same person because it's just a microphone. And I tell them, don't worry, the microphone is not going to bite you. It's just a microphone. But
Exactly. So that's but I think also, yeah, some people have it by natural, and some people like it's good to what we are. It's also you can learn it.
absolutely.
You
And
can
this
learn
is,
by what you say. If you
yeah,
put effort into it. For example, so for me it helps a lot. I'm always a very active person, so I have a lot of energy. I do a lot of yeah. I'm a dog trainer, so I have plenty of jobs. That's why I also this is beautiful while I get older now that I can really put all of it together
yeah.
and try to bundle it. To have it in yoga was never my favorite activity, but I do like kung fu. I do like these martial arts, which all like make you focus and try to get these things together. So you focus on the thing, like bring it together and.
And
Yeah,
this is great
articulate.
because Kung Fu, and I did some Aikido when I was kid, and my
Ah,
kids
nice.
did
Yeah.
Kung Fu in America, and this is true, and this is very important because you learn how to focus. And when you dub a character, you need to think about, especially if it's animation, you need to think about the voice characterization. So I'm going to talk like that all the time. And you need to think about the attitude of the character. You need to be on time. You need to follow the rhythm man. It's a lot of things at the same time. So I always make the analogy with the car. You know, when you start learning how to drive, you say, oh, it's impossible. I cannot look at the street in front of me and
Oh,
operate the pedals at the same time and
yeah.
look behind. It's too complicated, but it comes, and everybody goes through it. So it's just repetition, repetition, repetition. Like my teacher at the conservatory was saying, you will know the tune when you play it 500 times. So we were, so I did the jazz class and electroacoustic music, but in the jazz class, the teacher was showing us jazz tune and say, okay, 500 times. So did you play it 500 times? No, return and play it again. So that's it.
Yes.
So this is good. So listen, you just said something also very interesting, and I wrote that. So you said you play sax and the drum. So sax,
I play because my thing is when I came here, I had two kids, and Portugal is also so. For, for me, it was always challenging to go behind that, but also keep the money for the usual. So I played sax.
yeah.
I still play very nice. I love the drums, but I
But the
so
sax
yeah.
and the drums are very different instruments. And the sax, I mean, you have the percussion, and we'll talk about rhythm and how the rhythm is important in music, obviously, and the rhythm is
Yeah.
important in dubbing also, and the saxophone. And the saxophone is part of this solo instrument. You don't play chords, you play melody. Uh, I play guitar,
Exactly.
so I can do both. I can play chords, I can play melody, I can play together. That's great. But saxophone, you cannot play chords, so you play melody. So did we'll talk about the rhythm after, but tell me a little bit about the concept of melody. Did this help you to concentrate singing melodies or playing melody? Did this help you to concentrate, maybe to focus, I don't know, on your voice control and how to express your voice? Because the voice is also a solo instrument, unless you are a monk from Tibet and you can do harmonics and the voice.
I started with saxophone because I never thought I have the most beautiful voice. And I try to find an instrument where I can play and, it sounds more beautiful than my own voice. And, okay, you can play the saxophone also percussive it is. And it helped me definitely because you really have to, the stream of air, I need to
Exactly.
find the tone. Like holding long notes,
Yeah.
staccato playing or a short thing playing. So exactly. That helped me a lot to even get the confidence and hear the tones, what I want to, when does it sound beautiful? Because the saxophone can also sound horrible, especially for the people
Yes.
around when you start playing. So that definitely helped me in developing also like yeah, my love for like melodies. Also, what I want to come to is like I always love to freestyle and dance,
Yes.
and that also you could do in a saxophone. I always love to make my own dances in saxophone. When you have like scales, you can go off the scales, and you know if you have. That's I
Okay, we
always
have a
love that
comment
about the
here.
sax.
I have to read that to you. The comment is saying, I think your voice is beautiful. You see?
Thank you. Right. And I think when we come like we grow into it, so we accept, especially when you grow a bit older, like all the things what you have in the young age, what you maybe think was like, oh, how sound this, and you compare, makes it like beautiful. And if you get your confidence that, I'm very sorry, that hey, that you really
Absolutely.
like who you are. That's all of all this and all these movement and martial art training. All this makes you like into the person you are. And if you focus on that and also grow into it with all your mistakes and all
Yes.
it's not really mistakes, it's life. But I think then you grow into the comfort of also using it and portray it like who you are, and yeah, make that as
Yes.
like an asset for people to know. Because if they don't like you, they don't like you with
And
that or with that.
you
You know,
are
it's
the living example of
yeah.
somebody that doesn't focus on one thing, because often people are focusing on one art or one thing, and when
I,
and it's good to do everything
and
because everything is related at the end, you know.
That that's what I think. It's good, and it has its over the years. I had to struggle with it because you're never to get the really best, like the how you say it, like get into one. So you have like
Absolutely.
virtuous guitar players or
Absolutely.
like you know some by heart, like still the
When,
depth
yeah.
of the depth. Um, I had to struggle with that as well, but over the years, because that's me, so over the years, it comes all together and gives a common picture of who I am. And I can use it all
But
together.
great.
So,
When I
in,
did the
in
conservatory, I was the only student. When I did the electroacoustic music, which is really the electroacoustic music is the continuation of, you are German, so you know Stockhausen, obviously, and so this kind of music, and in the 50s it was very famous in two countries, France and Germany. A lot of noises, synthesizer, what they call music concrete music, you know. So you are using noise and instrument to create music, and and so I was the only one in this class coming from jazz, and everybody was so specialized. And I said, no, for me, improvisation and this kind of music is the same, and it was very different. But I thought it was helping me to do both, so I did both, and I graduated from both, and yeah, and it was very interesting. So. Tell me a little bit about um, the rhythm. So, how do you, for me personally, when somebody says, "Hey, Jacques, how you doing?" I'm listening, pa 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 pa, and I think like that. I hear pa 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 pa. So when you do dubbing, obviously this is easier to repeat ta ta pa 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 in any language. How do you use your rhythm expertise when you talk? When you do you think about it? How is it helping you in the dubbing?
So what I discovered now when I like also because the challenge for me was like that also when you see that you also want to put up the standard that I tried also to get lip sync with
Absolutely.
with what I see, and right now want to translate it into German, the Casablanca. So there it was like more getting the English into the German. I made it for me like and find the rhythm so it sounds into the with the
Yeah.
lips like natural. So that what was the challenge, and as more as you as well there as when you repeat, you repeat, you repeat, and you try again, come again, that you find like a nice soft also
Yeah.
that it's fitting.
We
It's natural because uh, I'm very. I have done like I also back in the
of
days. I loved reggae. I loved
course.
Afro music. I loved jazz and those things, and it's all like combined. Also in the groups, you know, you do a lot of things together. You know, it's even like sampling or so. I try. For me, I'm more like I learn by doing, by hearing, or by repeating and being in groups where you get the common energy from the beginning. I found by listening again and listening to yourself where you hear like little parts which is not like really tell me wrong afterwards. Maybe you write it to me. No, but that's basically how I do it. In the other thing, it's more like I could follow, of course, with a rhythm band. What you introduced, or maybe it existed before, but as I'm doing the study, that was helping a lot, and that makes it very easy to get the things going. That
The
you are
retro band.
following the
Yeah.
rhythm band. Uh, 1, 2, 3, 4, yay, and then you go. So that you really can focus on that, and that you come into that. That helps a lot. The rhythm band is really
Yeah, and I never
very, very
understood
nice.
why the German didn't adopt the Ritmo band because I often said very briefly the first dubbed movie were dubbed in Hollywood for the French and the German market before the Second War, and so in the late 30s, in the 30s, the just before the war the French and the German were the two big markets for the Hollywood producers, and they started to do the dubbing themselves in Hollywood, and obviously they didn't have the process, they didn't have the technique,
Not
so it was not very good. And the Germans and the French says, okay, we'll do it ourselves. And the French developed the Ritmo band, but the German didn't, and they do an excellent job. But the Ritmo band is really very, very easy.
it's like a tactile as well. Like in the music, you have the tactile. If you have it, you know, you're already like yeah, you can follow it very well. So that's why I think in the English version for me it was more challenging to
Yes,
translate it and then put it into
yes,
German to
yes,
fit the English
absolutely.
I
And
see.
that's also,
That
and
was like
we'll do another podcast about the power of adaptation, because if the adaptation is not good, if you have too many words in a sentence, you can try the way you want, you will never be in sync. And
I yesterday, but that's a very good challenge as well for oneself to dig into
exactly.
your own language again, because there's ways of saying the thing where maybe like you translate it and then it's like long sentence, whereas this is very short. But then when you dig in, there's many of ways of like German has the possibilities to say the same
Yeah.
things shorter, different, and that's very that's a
Yeah.
very interesting
And
thought as well, which I really
most of the time, English being a very concise language, most of the languages
yeah.
you translate English to are longer. The Latin language, very long, like 20-25% longer. So you have always to reduce and to try to have the same number of syllables. You know, the Spanish, actually, are doing what they call the looping. So the looping, a loop being something that repeats all the time.
Yeah,
And so I've been many times in a recording studio in Spain, and they have a sentence and they repeat, and the engineer is looping the sentence. So let's say it's a beautiful day today, and we say it's a beautiful day today. It's a beautiful day today. It's a beautiful day today. And the actors start
yeah.
repeating da 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 in their language to make them get in the rhythm. Because you and me, because we have musical abilities, we get the
But well, when I practice here because and then you never, yeah,
so
you do that well.
for the people
Just
that don't think very rhythmically, they repeat the sentence, and when they have it, the engineer press record and they record but it's long, it's very long. So obviously I hope more and more people are going to use the Rhythm Band, or at least the people that work with us, because all our sessions in Studio Next obviously have the Rhythm Band, and it's faster and it's
yeah.
better and it's more in sync. Um, and obviously,
It also gives the security that you can speak it because I was first. I remember it took me. I mean, because I have also a lot of things going on, so it took me a long time now to concentrate on that. And I think it's very good to. In the beginning, you think like I can never manage this. When I heard the Bugs Bunny voice, I thought I'm never gonna manage that, and you put yourself like little like okay, but then when you speak and you train and you try it again, even though my voice might not be perfect and the pitch might not like I try, you give your best, but coming into it and then afterwards now I thought what took me so long. Well, normally it's like when you have it and work with also the program, get like in an easy way
yeah,
of
yeah,
progressing much quicker. I mean, what they're doing. Also, this is part of the studies
yeah,
that you have to go into the technical part and to do it both. And okay, one is never perfect, and I'm to it. You million things you will say this is like you can improve there and there, and that is also very beautiful to see like it goes quicker and then you can read more and you can maybe really think about like I take on like something to really take up and it doesn't take you that long because you need also definitely when you get like the
absolutely,
customer you need to send it in time so you can who says that
yeah,
the painting is never finished you have to find a way of saying
absolutely.
okay
And
that's it and on the self,
this is a
that's
very
difficult.
good remark, because I released the CD of my tunes with my band in the States, jazz and bossa nova tunes, and all my tunes I composed them, and we were playing, and I was recording, and after we started to do the mix, and you can stay forever, on a mix. Even if you finish the recording, you can, after the mix, you can stay
You
forever
see
doing the mix.
some,
Oh, I want this sound. I want this. We had the saxophone also. I want the sax here. No, I want the sax here. No, in the middle, and the guitar a little bit lower, and the bass like that. You can stay, and you
and
have
then,
to
yeah,
you have to
when you have a band,
decide when it's time to say stop. I go to the next one. If not, you never finish. When you create, you never finish. So you have to be able to say stop. This is a very good remark. A French player, a French singer, dead by now, Georges Brassens. In one of his songs was saying something in French, but it was like talent without work is just a bad habit, something like that. And this is exactly what you are saying.
yeah,
So I would say to everybody listening, do like this, rehearse, go, and like my teacher was saying, 500 times you play the tune. Don't hesitate, get comfortable. It will come. It always comes. And even if you don't have a fantastic voice, even if you are not sure about yourself, it will come, because you know, by rehearsing, you will start opening, you will see your voice changing. And if you are confident, you already don't sound like when you talk like that, you know, it's a different voice.
Yeah, and that's what I experience now. That some things I still was agreed with myself, but I said like I want to finish now. This I had it long enough. I wanted to be ready and discuss with you today. So I said there I sent it, you know. But what I in between when I listen to it, sometimes I was like, yeah, some things like it sound now there sounds different than it did like a couple of weeks ago when I was like, nah, you know, you do it again, you put it away, and then you take it out again, and you listen to it again, and it was a whole process. So I really,
Great.
really, really enjoyed the study. You know, what is really also interesting, coming back to the voice thing, that is like when I now when I was working with it, there's 1 million chances, let's say, because
Absolutely.
every voice is needed
Absolutely.
in this. Okay, when you maybe do the voiceover, you read a book, you have this nice voice, is good. But then when I played with the characters, even if you have like a very is it
Yeah.
extensive voice, so you can like different, no, which is not so beautiful by its sound, but while working, it's like somebody might need it out there to portray
Yeah, and the voice
what they want.
characterization make you change your voice anyway, especially if you do animation. So that's a very good point.
Yeah.
Great. So we are, you know, 37 minutes. It passed like in 2 minutes. I think we just,
Well, thank you so much for
I think we
inviting
just
me.
started. So Tess, thank you very much. And I would say to everybody, you, like I said, you are the living example of multi arts. And don't hesitate to do several things at the same time, and just work, and everything will come.
and, and like the universe say, like it all plays together, and everything, you know, in this, like not only here, but in so many ways. If you do your things, everything is like a puzzle. You turn around and it make
Great.
somehow then it fits.
Oh, somebody, Kemi, is saying amazing interview. Well, you know, I have a great subject to interview, so it was easier for me. Tess,
Thank you
thank
so
you
much.
so much. Thank you, everybody. And we'll see you in 1 month for episode number 20 this time. Tess and everybody else, thank you very much. See you next time.
Bye
Bye.
bye
Thank
from
you.
Portugal. Bye. Bye.